Hello everyone, my name is Wayne, and today I will talk about human food provision impact the social environment, home range, and fitness of a marine type predator. And I hope I will convince you in this talk that human activity can affect the social relationship among individual animals, and consequently the social structure of their population. At first, let's talk about the study area. The study area is Bunbury Coast in Western Australia. And there have an organization called Dolphin Discovery Center, and Dolphin Discovery Center runs a food provision tourism program where dolphins are routine fed to encourage visit to a specific beach location. And in this study, the object is explore whether provision and non-provision dolphins differ in their behavior bucket. And the researcher collect data along the Bunbury Coast, which is categorized by temperate climate and water depth range from 1 meter to 24 meter in the offshore study area. And the time is summer and winter of 2017 and 2018. And the method is carry out individual focal follow from a small researcher vessel in coastal water surrounding Bunbury. And the frequency is each focal follow lasts from 20 minutes, and every 2.5 minutes record the behavior state of the focal animal. The sample is focused on certified well-known dolphins of different sex and age classes. And the researcher categorized the behavior into 4 well-known and mutually exclusive states. They are resting and foraging and traveling and socializing. And the resting is defined swimming in relative tide formation at slow speed, and the foraging, dolphins seeking prey activity, pursue prey, or possess capture prey. And the traveling is defined regular and consistent direction movement in a straight line, commonly at speed bigger than 3.2 km per hour. And the slow and steady progress toward a local will also consider travel. And the socializing is defined include a multiple of activity surface behavior. Body contact is usually recorded including rubbing and petting between individuals, but also fighting and chasing. Okay, next we look at this picture. The y-axis represent the percentage of this behavior in the total behavior duration. The star in this feature is represent significant difference in biostatic for this data, and we can assume that this behavior is influenced by provision. in left graph, we can see that the proportion of social behavior in provision adult is less than in non-provision adult. While the right figure, we can see significant difference in fragile and social behavior. Moreover, the provision can require more time to receive food, which also indicates that their hunting ability is relatively low. In the figure, and in this figure, you can see the provincial adult dolphin had smaller home range than non-provision dolphin. Also, the non-provision dolphin has smaller home range. It still has low socializing. And the figure is summarizing the impact of provision on adult and calf dolphin. The dashed lines are hypothesized relationships that receive weak support from the data. And the provision cause flex strategy change and next change the growth size and socializing, and that will influence calf fitness. And that's the talk the conclusion. The first, full provision of dolphin in boundary lead to reduced reproductive success and offspring survival. And provision dolphins spend less time socialized and have smaller home range and from weak association. And we need for management strategy to solve this question. But reduction in provision rate may not be sufficient to alleviate negative implication. Thank you.
In the conclusion, you said dolphins will have less socializing, and what does that mean? Is less socializing good for dolphins or is bad for dolphins?
The less socializing will cause the low production and the total number of the species will disappear.
In this page, can you explain more detail about the forage strategy?
The dolphin need to search his prey or just need to back to human.
I want to ask about the page 7. Can you tell more about the non-provisioned ones? That's the word I not really understand that.
The provision and non-provision is different from the whether receive human food. If he is provision, and if not, it is not provision.
Please turn to the page 6. Oh, may I ask you, what is claves? Adults and claves. What is claves? I cannot find the word.
The calf is young dolphin.
Oh, cool.
Rather than adult.
Thank you.
First of all, I was wondering why provision dolphins had smaller home range than non-provision. And second, I want to ask, how did they measure their home range size? I mean, is there any equipment they use, or I don't know, GPS? So yeah.
The provision home range is smaller than non-provision because the dolphin will stay in DDC provision area. The DDC is the Dolphin Discovery Center. They will feeding dolphin in same area, in same point.
Second is, how did they measure the home range size?
The range size is focused on the certified dolphin. They will just keep following the dolphin, and so they can get the dolphin's activity range.
Yeah, regarding this, because you only explained about the differences between socializing between adults and calves, but I would like to ask, there is also differences between the adults resting and the calves resting. Did they explain why is it so?
Because it doesn't have a significant difference in a biostatistic. So I didn't talk about the resting and traveling.
Okay, thank you.
This talk was relatively straightforward. However, it's good that you use the skill. However, you don't basically have any introduction slide. You go directly to the study area. So we have no idea what's the meaning of studying provision and non-provision dolphins. Of course, the motivation seems easier to understand, but for these authors, they actually have a very specific motivation, which is here. So actually the first point, which is they figure out that the provision dolphins seem to have lower reproductive success, is the motivation. But you didn't mention that at all. So I think it would be great next time you just spend 8 minutes. You have a lot of time to add introduction slides. I think you should introduce, for example, the behavior of provision and non-provision because one student asked. And then you should explain the observation that the provision dolphins seem to have lower reproductive success. So you should add at least 2 or 3 introduction slides. Then next time you can have 10 minutes. And then here, is it number 3? I think here you read this. Am I right? You read this bucket. No? Right? That reads budget, not bucket. Then the data collection here, it's okay, but because next time you need to be able to show improvement. If I were you, I would use images instead of these wordy sentences. These can be easily shown. You can find a lot of images from the internet to make this more interesting. Then, number 5, this is good. This is really good. However, after introducing the 4 figures, images, you start to read some lines. And when you were reading the lines, you did not print any keywords here. Then I start to lose my attention. So you should, when you have long lines, you should always print keywords on the slide. You don't need to print the full sentence, but you need to have keywords. Then during your presentation, you were not really looking at the audience. However, based on the QA, I think while sometimes it takes you more time to figure out the right words, but it seems like you are able to understand their question and you can answer their question. Therefore, I think your English level is good. Next time you should be able to look at them and read your lines like this instead of this. Okay? And then you need to pay attention because you are a guy, okay? So I suppose that each of you, no matter you are male or female, you should speak loudly because when you speak lightly, you give people the impression that you are not confident. It's very important. Now you have the help of microphone, okay? Not microphone, Mic? Right. You have help from this. However, you still need to speak loudly to give people the impression you are very confident in what you're saying. Then, when you were presenting the figures, you gave very good introduction talking about the axis, the x-axis, y-axis, and the symbol, what the symbol mean. I think these are all very nice. However, it would be even better next time you can add a concluding remark showing what is the main finding of the data here, and the same here. But for this figure, you did not introduce the figure well. So like the axis and the pattern. So next time, please explain, introduce the figure. And this is your concluding remark. You should talk about the data first before you go to your concluding remark. Okay? It's always data first, then your statement later. And this one, to be honest, I think you need to figure out a better strategy. Like if you say the dashed line and the solid line, they have different meaning, you should print here. Not just talk, you should print keywords here. Okay? And what is the main conclusion from this kind of flow chart? It's really not clear to me. You should tell us what you want to say with this. And lastly, this is a combination of result and discussion. I personally don't like this. I think discussion should be discussion. Conclusion should be conclusion. Whatever you mention in conclusion should have been mentioned in your earlier slides. And conclusion should be very short. And every point you mentioned in conclusion should be supported or mentioned in your earlier slide. And when you look at the statement here, the first one is actually introduction. You didn't mention it. The second time is supported by the data. This one is okay. However, the third one, I would say it's suggestion and I don't see the connection between the third point and the data you presented. Because you say reduction in provisioning rates may not be sufficient to solve the negative the problem. So then why? I don't see the issue. I don't see the relationship between the third point and your data. So you need to reconsider your conclusion next time. Okay. So I hope to see your improvement next time. When? Good. Thank you.